Hey guys, Rich here with Brotherhood Reviews, and I'm talking to you. I'm here with a live stream about Peacemaker. I got my cousin Wayne with me.
Hey man, how you guys doing out there? Thank you for tuning in.
All right. Now today we're just gonna be talking about episode 4 of Peacemaker. Hey guys, Rich here with Brotherhood Reviews, and I'm talking. The delay on that is crazy, but yeah. So we're gonna start it off with episode 4, talking about the things we enjoyed about it. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much that's really it. The things we enjoyed about it, what's happening, and possibly go through a few theories. Um, I'm going to let Wayne start off while I be right back.
All right, so basically we start in episode 4. We see Peacemaker sitting outside his house. He's bummed out. You know what I mean? He's going through a lot after he found out that his dad was set up basically by the people that he's working with. I don't know. I really enjoy John Cena in this role, and I'm not like I'm a wrestling fan. I watch WWE, and I'm not a fan of John Cena in WWE, but as an actor and as a comedic actor, I think he's outstanding. He just takes this role and does so much with it, man, because he has the seriousness, he has the comedic timing, and I just feel like this role was made especially for somebody like John Cena. Um, Also, the rest of the cast is just perfectly cast, man. I mean, you got everybody in this show has perfect comedic timing. You know what I mean? So I think that they just work very well together. They're able to feed off of each other's energy, and it just works. It works, and you know what I mean. As I stated before, I am not a fan of John Cena, but this role is just perfect for him. You know what I mean? And as an actor, I feel like he's really good. Um, he can play your serious roles. He can play your comedic roles. He can play pretty much anything. So, yeah, Peacemaker, DC is definitely on the come up with their shows, man. You got to think of what they have. You know what I mean? With Titans now,
Uh-huh.
with this in tow, and it can only make you think about what's next, man.
Yeah. Now, they also have a few other ones. That I'm obviously gonna do reviews on soon, like Stargirl, um, Titans, uh, uh, what was the other one I told you that we should watch together? Doom Patrol,
Doom Patrol, yeah.
which I enjoy. But yeah, DC's really up on an uprise with their shows. I don't know what they're doing about the movies and stuff, but you know what I mean. Who knows what's going on with that? But let's go over a few turning points. This whole mission to find that Glen Thai place where they were shipping out all the that goo that
Yeah,
they
the
eat.
butterfly food or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So did you expect when he walked up in there and started capping people, what did you expect when that happened?
Well, once he started shooting people, I assumed they were butterflies already.
Yeah, me
You know what I
too.
mean? Because you got to remember he had the X-ray vision helmet. Um, so I mean, once he started capping people, I pretty much knew they were butterflies already.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think that everybody in there would be butterflies. You
Mm.
know what I mean? I thought maybe there were just a couple people and there were just workers making stuff that they didn't even know what it was. But yeah, it turned out everybody in there was butterflies. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
no, that was a surprise to me too that everybody was butterflies because it was like, okay, like how far is this alien infestation really spread? Um, who would you say is your standout character of this episode?
Standout character of the episode. I don't know his name, but the guy that's the leader of the group.
The black dude?
Yeah,
Clemson,
Clemson.
Mern.
Clemson Mern. I
Yeah.
love that guy, man. I love that guy in this show, bro. I love that guy in
Yeah,
this show.
his real name is Chakwanda Iwuji. So he's got I'm guessing he's African. But yeah, he's been killing it for me too, especially like
Since
cause
episode 1.
yeah, cause he's like, oh yeah, I don't have any emotions, like I was a trained killer, this, that, and the third. So it's like you really see like, you know, what he had to go through, like, you know, to get to where he's at. You can really tell that he's trying to be more human, but now with the reveal at the end of episode 3 that he was a butterfly, really wasn't like now I don't know if he really doesn't have emotions because he doesn't, you know, because of the training, or is it because he's a butterfly? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now I'm kind of
It's an interesting wrinkle to the whole, you know what I mean? Because I didn't see that coming at all. So it's an interesting wrinkle to it, and I just wonder how it's gonna play out. Like, are they gonna have to kill him to extract the butterfly from his brain, or is there another way? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It,
I'm wondering how that's gonna play out.
the way that it's going, and plus the way that Peacemaker's character actually is, it's he's more of a shoot first and ask questions later. But I kind of like how in the first, I believe it was episode 2, when when he had to kill the little kid,
Yeah,
and he kind of like had a heart and stuff afterwards, because it's like, you know, if you watched
he couldn't even do it. Vigilante had to do it.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
you know, he's got a lot on his mind, especially after almost dying, and this actually following up after Suicide Squad.
yeah,
So it's like he's got a lot more character development to him than, you know, most people actually think.
sure, sure. And you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of Suicide Squad too, and I think I told you about that.
Yeah.
Um, but in that movie, obviously John Cena and Idris Elba stood out.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, um, and then
Definitely.
I thought it was cool the way that they made this show off of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
he didn't really die. He went through this. They flew him out, whatever. You
Mhm.
know, and explained that whole backstory or whatever, and tied it all into the show. And I'm glad they made this show, man, because it's interesting. It's funny. It's very, very funny. I will say that it's very, very funny. Even the intro where they're doing this dance, man, and they have
Oh,
this the straight face
oh,
the whole time
a
during this dance, man.
rhythmless,
Oh my
straight
god.
face dance that
Oh
they're
my
doing the
god. It's
whole time.
hilarious. It's hilarious. I
Yeah.
definitely recommend you guys at least check out an episode, man. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but at least check out an episode. Watch the dance. The dance will have you crying.
Yeah,
Um
it's very entertaining. It's and it's one of those series that you know doesn't take itself too serious. So like I think that's what a lot of people need, especially when it comes to the superhero genre, cuz
true. True.
it's either like completely serious or extremely funny. I feel like not a lot of shows get that
True.
perfect medium. Um Also, anything else you wanted to bring up?
Um the rest of the cast is just great though. Like Adebayo, the girl that plays Adebayo,
About yeah,
I don't know her name. She's hilarious. Um,
Danielle Brooks.
yep, she's hilarious, and I've seen her in a few other things. And
Honestly, I believe this is the only thing I've seen her in. Oh yeah, no, I heard she was in Orange Is the New Black,
yeah,
but I didn't
yeah,
see that.
she was, and
Uh,
that's exactly where she's from now. I was thinking about
mm-hmm.
Orange is the New Black, and
Oh, she actually
she's funny in that too, man. She's
did.
funny in that too, and she was good for this role. She was definitely good for
Yeah,
this role.
she's really killing it, and I actually like the way how they brought her role in, because like if you're obviously a comic book reader and you're watching this or listening to this, you obviously know that at least so far as we know, uh her mother, Viola Davis, her character, I can't think of the name, but
What's
her
her character's name?
um
Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller, yeah.
Amanda
Amanda Waller to the in the comics does not have a daughter. So as of right now, this is her character is just a brand new
Yeah,
unknown character, you know what I mean? And the way that they're writing it is really like
well put together.
uh-huh.
Well put together. Um, there's not spots where I'm like, this doesn't connect. This doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there's some goofy spots in the show, but I think that makes the show what it is. You know what I mean? a lot of the times, a lot of DC shows I don't like.
Yeah,
I told you this before. I'm a Marvel guy. You know what I mean? But lately with the Titans and with this, they're definitely starting to catch some fire. Doom Patrol, you said you like. I haven't tuned in to Doom Patrol yet.
yeah,
I feel like they're starting to catch some fire. You know what I mean?
yep, definitely.
Because I mean, Marvel shows, they're what if all that stuff. Speaking of what if was canceled for season 2 or pushed back. It's very upsetting.
It was probably pushed back. It
Pushed
definitely
back.
was. It
Yeah,
definitely
they're not
wasn't
releasing
canceled.
it right now,
Yeah.
which is very upsetting. But anyway, back to this topic.
Eh,
Um, yeah, they're definitely starting to catch wind of something here, man. And if they could put a couple more shows together or get these movies the way that they need to be, you got to think we got Batman coming.
yeah,
Um,
Batman's gonna be great. I don't have really high hopes of any other of it. Like I think Flash is gonna be good, but the direction they're going with the DCU, I do not approve of. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love the fact that Supergirl is gonna get her shine because she's an amazing character. I literally have a Supergirl coloring book that I color in, so like I love her. But it's just the way that they did my man's uh Henry Cavill. It's just the way they did him is just not it's just unprofessional in my mind for them to be such a big company, like for them to blatantly announce that they're going in a different direction and Supergirl's going to be our super person going forward. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like Superman should get like he should get his shine like for a company that did him so dirty. They
and
should.
he's fucking Superman.
Yeah,
Bro. Like,
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, how are we doing
Yeah.
this stuff without Superman?
I'm saying, and there's not many people where, as a company where you'll do them dirty and in the press that they'll keep saying nothing but good things about you. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Like,
Sure.
nowhere's you'll find that realistically. So, um, that's just my main issue. So I might see Flash. You know what I mean? I'm most likely gonna see it because I do want to do a review on
I
it.
feel like we kind of have to.
I have to see it.
You know what I
but-
mean? I
But
feel
you
like we
know,
kinda have
I'm
to.
talking my crap for the views. I'm
Yeah,
talking
I
my
feel like we kind of have to go see Flash.
I-
Batman, I'm excited about, man. Batman, I'm definitely excited about. I think Robert Pattinson doesn't get his just due. Off of Twilight, which really wasn't his fault. I mean,
Honest.
he gave the best acting performance he could. They
Uh,
had him playing a depressed, lonely vampire,
and he
thing,
did his job.
and shining in the sun and everything else like that. And that was definitely supposed to just stay a book. Let me just throw that out there. Everything can't be made into a movie.
Hey,
You
listen, when it comes to the Twilight franchise, I personally enjoyed them the way that they are. I don't take like most people. I don't take his performance in that as him as an actor because I study this stuff, so it's more of like I know that that's what the director told him to
exactly.
do.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those where it's like, all right, you were told to do that and you did it well. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason. There's a cult following behind him. For that role. So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people who love those series but, in the eyes of like the general public, they just see him as that character. But if you've seen other things he was in like Good Times and stuff like that, then you'll definitely know the grittiness of the actor he really is.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I'm excited for him playing Batman. I think he's gonna do a great job. So yeah, DC has a little bit of steam behind them right now.
Mhm.
If they can keep their foot on the gas with Flash, if Flash is anything, if it's good, it doesn't have to be. Even if it's not great, if it's good, I think they can still keep this steam going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Because this show right here, man, Peacemaker, I'm sold on it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I could watch 3-4 seasons of this if they choose to do another season.
Which they can because obviously right now it only technically ties into the Peacemaker. I mean into the Suicide Squad movie, but then again in the movie he was technically died. So And who knows if it's going to be a Suicide Squad
And look at
3.
the actors that they're bringing out now. You got Robert Pattinson, you got John Cena, you got Idris Elba, you got The Rock.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, they're definitely trying to keep up here with Marvel, and I think if they can just tighten a few things up, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That I don't know if it'll be as successful as Marvel, just because that franchise is going above and beyond, and they're backed by Disney, and you know what I mean. Disney runs all. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
but I definitely think they can get their foot in the door and have a say about, you know what I mean, what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. So with not to change it up. Well, we've been talking about everything, but
Yeah.
well, what made you realize that you wanted to continue this?
Oh man, right off the first episode, man, I was laughing so hard. It was funny. You know what I mean? John Cena, like I said, I've said it a few times, his comedic timing is perfect. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that the funny aspect of it is what caught me at first. But then you also there's a lot of depth in everybody's character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like John Cena, you know why he is the way he is. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
his dad, whatever. His dad is a racist, the white dragon, this,
Mm-hmm.
that, and the third. Out of bio, you see how the way she is. She's a lesbian. Her girlfriend was living with her, but then, you know what I mean? Her mom's Amanda Waller. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like they give everybody a little bit of time so we can understand these characters.
Okay.
We know Amanda Waller already. We've been with her twice already in the Suicide Squad.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I would like them to go maybe a little bit deeper into Dyed Beard, and so we can really learn him a little bit.
Yeah, my
But,
son out here smoked a gorilla with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Little racist, but little racist. But we'll let that one slide.
Vigilante, we get to see Vigilante. He got a side job. You know what I mean? He's been waiting for Peacemaker to come back. You know what I mean? Blowing up his phone. I mean, I like the depth in everybody's character. But yeah, the comedy mostly is what got me at first.
Definitely. And this, because I know you probably don't know who Gorilla Grodd is. This
Yeah,
is
I do.
for the. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So, did you think that was Gorilla Grodd?
No, I thought it was. It's funny that you say that. I actually thought that it was a butterfly controlled gorilla.
like that's what I thought at first, but then I'm like,
Once he started talking, it gave me like a kind of like, oh, that might be Gorilla Grodd.
yeah.
But, nah, the whole time I actually thought it was a butterfly controlled gorilla.
That's hilarious, yeah. Cause I was like, cause you know, and well, at the end of episode 2 is when they said a gorilla got escaped or whatever, and it was just like at the end of episode 2, that's what I'm like, is that Gorilla Grodd? Because like, even though I know we're talking about these, like it was going on about these butterflies, still thinking in my head like they could probably just. This gorilla escaped, and then we're not gonna bang Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And the reason I know who Gorilla Grodd is because, I played Injustice.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. That's the only reason why I know. I don't know him from the comics or from shows or anything. Like that. That's how I know who Gorilla Grodd is.
I be forgetting he's in those games, but yeah. So I really thought that. I feel like that would have just been like a crazy twist if that was Gorilla Grodd, but you know what I mean. Beggars can't be choosers.
I still think it was done all right though.
Oh yeah, definitely. It made sense. Like trust me, like it made more sense for it to be a butterfly than Gorilla Grodd. I just like Gorilla Grodd, so like I was hoping like
you want to see some more star power.
Yeah, exactly. All right. What is your favorite thing that's happened so far in these first 4 episodes?
I would say the fact that what's his name again? The leader. I forget.
Mern?
Mern. That we find out Mern is a butterfly because I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming, and it's an interesting twist. And Adebayo knows that he's a butterfly now. It's an interesting twist. See if he's gonna try to kill her or what's gonna happen.
I definitely think he's gonna try and kill her, but the whole thing is I don't know. Well, I think thing is, I think he's like, you know how like sometimes they be having the people that are on your side and shit that be like, you know what I'm saying, Jared, come join us. This is live. We live
shit,
right
we
now.
live?
Yeah, we live right now.
Oh, we live.
Yeah, man, like we are.
Bet.
Here.
What it do, everybody?
Yeah.
Our other cousin just came in,
Here.
Jared.
Oh.
Good. What it do, Wayne? How
Nothing,
you
man.
doing?
We're doing episode 4 of Peacemaker.
Episode 4. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect timing. Perfect
Perfect
time.
timing.
What it do, Rich?
Chilling, you know.
Alrighty. Well, glad to be on the show.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, yeah. So where we at on Peacemaker?
Well, we've just been having like talking about just our favorite parts and stuff like that so far. So you know what I mean. Since you just joined, you start up a new topic.
We're actually
Okay,
glad
okay.
to have you because
Yeah.
you probably know more DC and more stuff like this. than we-
man. I'm glad.
You know, you probably forgot more than we'll ever know.
I mean, yeah. So Peacemaker episode 4, I thought was fucking. Like, what I love about this show is that like, it's kind of what DC fans have always wanted from Warner Brothers to do, which is just let the creators kind of
Do their thing.
yeah, and like the amount of shit they let James Gunn get away with, just in these 4 episodes, alone.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's pushing-
let alone
pushing the
episode
envelope.
5, like
Yeah.
whatever that's gonna be, like
Yeah, pushing the envelope a lot.
And
Yeah.
Do that.
you and my favorite parts, and it's gonna probably sound weird, it's like all the racist parts because it's the simple fact that like when they bring up that subject, they don't sugarcoat it and they make sure like everybody knows like this is wrong.
and they give you a satisfying like ending towards
Towards
it.
it,
You know what I
yep.
mean? Like most shows, like where it's like they'll deal with it in a very realistic way. You know, which is understandable. If you're gonna do it realistic, you gotta do it realistic. Where it's like sometimes when people be say some racist shit, and then they kind of get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about this is the fact that it's fantasy, it's a comic book. Like I love that Vigilante is calling out these like racist dudes in the prison, and then you get that satisfaction of him just beating everything and like no problem. Like yeah, that's what I love about Vigilante. He's such a nerd, but he can beat your ass with no
No problem.
problems at all.
Psychopath. He's a psychopath.
Yeah, like seriously, like
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you know when he was telling
Yeah.
Peacemaker, he's like, "You think I enjoy gouging people's eyes out? Because I do."
Like yeah.
And you knew this dude was like,
That
he's somebody you want, like honestly, on your side.
Even when he had to snipe the family. bro.
He was like number
Hey,
one,
buddy,
number
take a step
two.
back. Yeah, take a step back. I'll be right.
No problem murking them kids. It's like
Nah.
1, 2, bound down.
Now my favorite part is it's like he said it so subtle. He was like yeah, Peacemaker. Oh, that's how Peacemaker did it. He bullied people like. You know, he give everybody names of the size of their dicks, right? And then,
Thimble.
and then he called me Thimble. Like, it didn't bother me none, because I have no emotions. like, he said it so calmly. I feel like nobody noticed it. Like
Everybody has just like great little moments. That's why I love rewatching it. Like that's the other thing I love about the show is like even with the jokes. I mean, maybe because they're still fresh, but like these jokes are just like I love revisiting them already.
Oh yeah, so
And, like,
Watch
rewatch
every
yeah.
episode more than once. I
Yeah,
watch
and just
every
getting
episode.
those, like you said, those little moments that like nobody really picks up on. Like,
Yep. The rewatch value of this show is very, very
And
high.
what we were talking about before you got here, man, we feel like DC's starting to catch some steam. Like with Titans, with this, with Batman coming, and we're hoping Flash can be anything.
because they finally did what they should have done from the beginning, which is fuck the Marvel train.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like let's not worry about our like the
Our
Batman has
competition, yeah.
the Batman has is not gonna have any connection to anything else, and guess what? It's now tracking to make a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Like so that along with everything else that they're doing, like Aquaman, like they all their most successful movies in the last few years have been ones that it's just about that movie and those characters. And if
Yeah.
eventually we have some of them crossover, like eventually if we get a Black Adam and Shazam crossover, maybe with Superman, you know what I mean? Cool. But right now we're just focusing on the movie to movie, and I respect them for it.
Yeah,
honestly.
like they're catching steam. They got some good shows come out right now. They got, hopefully, like I said, hopefully Flash or something. You got Black Adam coming, and look at the actors. You got John Cena, you got The Rock, you got Idris Elba, you got, you know what I mean? You got Robert Pattinson. You got big names.
Yeah, I was watching actually another
Gail
podcast.
Gadot.
Yeah, that's the thing I also love about them is, I can't remember which one I was listening to. One of the podcasts I was listening to was somebody made a great point of the thing that DC's also doing right now, which is like, because you look back at like Batman Forever, right? When Batman Forever came out, for as garbage as we look at it now, at the time, it made sense to why they did that, what they were doing. It's like, okay, Tim Burton's not coming back, but he's going to produce it, and we want to sell more toys. We don't want this dark, grim stuff anymore. Michael Keaton's not coming back, so okay, who do you get? You get Val Kilmer, who's one of the biggest at the time. You get Chris O'Donnell for Robin. You get Tommy Lee Jones off the height of winning an Oscar. You got Jim Carrey off his run. You know what I mean? Like, it made sense to why you got all those high-class actors at the time. Because even if you look at the background characters, right? If you go back to the background of the scene when when Jim Carrey first meets Val Kilmer's Bruce Wayne,
Yep.
Jon Favreau is one of the guards walking him.
Oh,
Jon Favreau.
that's crazy.
Guy goes on to do Mandalorian, like Lion King, fucking Jungle Book, everything we love now.
Yeah.
Started the MCU. Isn't the background of this? And this is off his, off Swingers and shit, when he's coming off of that. Then you got fucking, even Drew Barrymore is one of the girls in the lair for Two-Face. Just there. Exactly. Yeah, you don't think about it. If you go back, Drew Barrymore is just one of the girls there.
Yeah.
So you look at, back then it was always about like the star power. Let's get all the star power. What I love what DC's doing now is, okay, there is no more star power in Hollywood.
Yep.
So let's just get the best fucking actors we can get.
Mm-hmm.
So you get Rob Pattinson as your Batman. You get Zoe Kravitz as your Catwoman. You get Paul Dano as your Riddler. You get Colin Farrell, unrecognizable as Penguin.
Yep.
Like, again, with Shazam, you get The Rock, who now is going to go up against Zachary Levi, who already proved he can kill it as Shazam. You got Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
And what I was just saying in the beginning of this, John Cena is perfectly cast for this role. I'm not a John Cena fan.
I know.
I'm a wrestling fan. So I don't like John Cena as a wrestler. But as an actor, he has yet to disappoint me. And his comedic timing in this role
It's so perfect.
is second to none.
Yeah.
He has
Second to none.
great comedic timing.
Yeah.
That's what James Gunn nailed with him. It's just like I even love seeing like behind the scenes. Right, this is behind the scenes of when he just keeps naming off like the names of people and shit. There's like a scene of like James Gunn walking up to him and telling him like more shit to say, and he just like even James Gunn himself like cracking up at like what he knows John Cena's about to say,
No.
and just like him nailing every single time. And they even said like for the one when he's going off on all the last episode when he's going off all the names, like why didn't you arrest
After
Trey?
yeah.
Yo, they show like behind the scenes he just kept
going.
Like they were talking about it, even on the podcast after they were like, how far did he go? And they were like, he just kept going. Like they just had him keep saying, like he said so many other like pop culture different names. Like it was just hilarious. And like they all tried to keep it together. Like, and I respect that. I was like, because he killed it in that scene.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it looked because it's funny you say that because I kind of like rewatching it a couple times and like I'm trying to get better with my editing and noticing edits and stuff. It kind of looked like the way they edited it that like he really did say a lot. Like,
yeah, there's a lot more that
they cut a few people. They had to cut like a handful of people out. Like so I'm like, oh, okay, like he's like really, but I'm like thinking too, like he's right. He could have used any of those names. Like who cares at that? You know what I'm saying?
And the other thing I loved is the ending of the episode, fighting a fucking gorilla.
You know what I'm saying?
We were just speaking about that. He thought it was Gorilla Garage at first.
Well, that was the other thing I was like, look,
yeah.
I love the subversion of, yes, in the last episode, if you're a DC fan, you're looking at that as like, if it's a gorilla, it's Gorilla Garage. That's what it has to be. Like, that's what it always is. And then for them to like change it, it's like, no, it's just a gorilla that has a butterfly in it, and we gotta now kill a gorilla butterfly. And it's like, oh, fuck. Like, yeah, these niggas is fucking. Now you look at like the map of all the suspected ones, first you're thinking those are all people. Now it's like, oh, these could be animals, anything. Like
anything.
There could be a whole army of gorillas out there ready to go. Like, fuck right.
It's such a. It's so like I don't even know.
And the chainsaw joke is just so.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Like I'm gonna need the chainsaw. Like no, you're not gonna need the chainsaw. But what if I did?
Word like.
And then after he chainsaws the gorilla, he's like, I think he stole my idea. He's like, I was just talking 50 minutes ago about how I wanted to kill someone with a chainsaw. He just so happens to come in with a chainsaw and kill a gorilla.
But the thing is, it's John
delivery of it, like.
But it's not. For me, it was John Cena's reaction because it's like he looked like you've never said that to me. Like what? Like what? You never said nothing about a chainsaw.
And I even like how him and Economist were kind of fucking with each other at the end. Like how I love how Peacemaker respected him for like, okay, dye beard, like you fucking kill a gorilla with a chainsaw.
Okay, stud.
Yeah, like, he couldn't even be mad at him. Like,
word.
Oh my god, like yeah, I can't. And now the fact that Abadiah knows like Burns a fucking,
Yeah,
got a butterfly.
bro.
It's like, okay, what are we about to...
What's
And I didn't even
happening?
think about that at first. I was like, oh yeah, that one has X-ray. If he just uses it around Mern, like...
Yeah, he's
I
gonna.
didn't think about that until she put it on. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
But the thing is, like, and I'm not mad at it because the way it's flowing is flowing nice. A lot of things are getting like found out earlier than I expected. Like, even though like yeah, we found out in like episode 2 that Mern was or like episode 3 that Mern was a butterfly.
yeah.
I was just like, okay, maybe we're gonna go on like 3 episodes of them, going on missions and stuff, and then I'm like, oh, and then once she walked in the room and Peacemaker's helmet was right there, I'm like, oh, it's over.
Yep.
She's gonna die or it's a cliffhanger, and it was a freaking cliffhanger. That's what gets me mad. It's like it's like a great cliffhanger, but
it's like now I'm like
now
fuck,
I need to know if my girl gets smoked or not.
This show is so good, bro. I set my alarm at 3:00 in the morning and watch it when it drops.
Word.
The same way I did with Titans. I set my alarm at 3:00 in the morning.
Did do
and watch it.
that.
Now I watch it. I watch it twice. Like what I'll do is at work, because it'll drop around 3, and that's when I have to change the system. So maybe I'll just take my headset off, put my headphone on. I'll start the episodes when I count the drawers and shit, and then like I'll listen to like the second half for a bit while trying to look when I can, and then I'll rewatch it like once I get home, like and smoke the blunt and shit and just relax. So I always watch it like twice in the morning once it drops.
Yeah,
and then I'll probably watch it a few more times because it's just so fucking
It's
good.
great.
Like
Bro,
if I
it's
come
great.
over here and watch it with you, like
yeah, definitely.
It's great.
yeah, it's not like HBO Max, man. Like they're just there right now.
Yeah,
man.
they're doing their thing. Like I really have no complaints,
None at all.
especially like with their shows. Like you know what I mean. Like
Every week to week, I'm just like nail
here,
biting.
I'm here for
Nail biting.
it. I'm here for it, man.
Definitely doing a lot better than the CW right now. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much. CW, I'm about done with them.
Even Disney, like nobody really. It wasn't until last week that people was excited about Boba.
Both that,
really.
and that was the Mandalorian had to show up for people to be
Right.
excited about it.
And I mean, anybody listening at this point, mild spoilers, but it's like they obviously set up that maybe Grogu shows up in this next episode. So it's like even the next episode, people are really more curious to see.
Like if Grogu shows up,
Yeah,
like,
and then the second thing is we'll be like, okay, now we get to see Mando and Boba. And it's like, okay, like that, it's cool, but it's like that should be your main thing, like that's driving people, not just maybe we'll see Baby Yoda again.
Yeah, no, and not to get sidetracked because this is not about about that, but like I kind of fell off because like it's a good story, but it wasn't as captivating as I thought it would be. Yeah, I'm saying.
Again, whereas Peacemaker, the first episode, like half of the episode, I was so captivated, and then I was just so excited because I'm like, wait, I still got like another half hour of this, and I have 2 more episodes.
Yeah.
Like, what? And this is the first night it's dropping. Like, that's just as a fan. Like, that
And it's
shit was
funny,
so
when I
satisfying.
started watching the show, we were over here chilling, whatever, one night. You're like, yo, have you watched Peacemaker? And I'm like, nah, it's not really my, you know what I mean? I didn't really enjoy Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, just watch an episode. Just watch an episode.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like it, then just don't watch it. I'm like, all right. Bro, I watched the episode. It was like 2 in the morning. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I watched the episode, bro, and I just ended up watching all 3 in that one sitting right there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sold on it.
Yeah.
Completely sold, man.
Yeah. Like, I just love how it's just a clear, like, again, like, what I don't like about these other shows, like, superhero shows just in general, it's all, like, at least the longer ones are, like, mainly, like, week to week, this villain, this mission, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just love stories that are just, no, this is the story. Like, we're not going to waste your time with bullshit. Right? This is the story. This mission is the story. And when the season's done, you're the conclusion of that story. Whatever we do on next is, like, whatever. But, like, I don't like, it's like, we're going to tease an overarching villain at the very end. But from then to now, it's just week to week of this villain, with minor pieces of information. Whereas this is like so much happens in each episode. And there's so much information given to you.
Bro, you're drawn in from the beginning when they're dancing.
They
when they're
confirmed that Bat might
with the
exist.
straight.
Like, do you understand that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is a universe that technically has Ben Affleck's Batman still, and has beaten up Jared Leto's Joker, lost to Robin, beaten up Superman, is all grouchy and murdering people. But at the same time, Bat might exist. This interdimensional creature that's obsessed with being, Batman and being his number one fan. That's insane, bro.
Yeah.
And the fact that they let James Gunn go away, then go like, yep, that's canon. Like, Suicide Squad's our new canon. This is your canon. And apparently he's got another Suicide Squad spin-off show in the works at HBO Max. But he just doesn't reveal which character it is.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I heard rumors about that, but I didn't know how like.
Yeah, no, like he himself, like on a recent interview, just finally said, like, yeah, like I am working on another show based on a spin-off, but he just wouldn't say who the character was.
Because it probably has to do. It might be like
Either it'll be at the end of this, or just like he wants to like have everyone focus on Peacemaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then it's like, okay, to get you excited, he's like, the next one I'm doing is this.
Yeah, I
What do you
think
guys think it's gonna be?
I think it's gonna
Ratcatcher.
be Ratcatcher.
Because I think he loves that character so much, and how the fact that was one of his like,
Yeah.
let me go find something that same thing as Peacemaker, where it's like, let me go find a character that nobody really knows like that, and the fact that those two were the biggest standouts, like, because I feel like for John Cena it was like, with his spinoff I can get my comedic fun shit off, and with her I can get the dramatic like emotional shit. You look at all the emotional moments she had in Suicide Squad, like she really was the heart of the film.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's easier than like, because I feel like obviously another fun one would probably be like King Shark, based on how Sylvester Stallone plays
him, yeah.
But it's like the CG and the amount of money they have to put in that, like you need at least like one more other season of a hit show like that. So probably get the budget okay to do a whole show like that.
Yeah, but I'd honestly see them do it more as probably a standalone.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
just because like,
or if anything, like if Ratcatcher they did her show at the end, like she goes and sees him or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he cameos and other stuff.
Yeah, like he's her emotional like.
Yeah, because I just see, like you said, just CGIing a whole, at least the way they made King Shark look in Suicide Squad,
a
lot of money,
Yeah.
effort. That's easily like probably like close to 100, 200 G's each episode just to create the King Shark.
Yeah, that's not even like everything else included in the budget.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, so, but I think Ratcatcher too would make the most sense of like who he probably would want to do.
Yeah, that I wouldn't mind it because he did make her a very interesting character.
And I love her performance. That it's like, okay, I would love to see you being like this tired ass millennial dealing with like older niggas like for like 3 episodes, like that'd be bad.
That's very.
I'm interested because I didn't even think I would like this show, and I like it. So if they made another,
Yeah, that's the other thing. I trust in James Gunn so much that it's like if he says I want Ratcatcher too, then it's like, okay, do what you want. Like I'm gonna be here. Like I can't doubt you anymore at this point. Between that, Guardians, like,
Oh yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm on your side, bro.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, bro.
How many episodes
With
do you
it.
guys think of there's going to be a Peacemaker? I'm
I
saying
believe
between
there's
probably 8.
Oh, you
That's
believe
it.
they're- oh, they said 8?
Yeah. I think it's
I just-
listed as 8.
I've been thinking because like
I was
just
hoping like 12.
Yeah, me
just
too.
like the just because like the formula they've been
Yeah.
doing with the
Same
HBO
thing-
shows.
Same thing, Euphoria's 8 episodes. Like
Yeah.
a lot of them have been 8 episodes, which it's so annoying with HBO Max because it's like obviously I always want more of everything with their shows, but it's like you've done both. Like you gave us 22 episodes and 6 seasons of The Wire. You know what I mean? Like you gave us old great TV format shows, Game of Thrones 6 seasons, with 13 episodes. Like you've done all the different formats. So for you to now to be at like the short 8 formats, like you're still killing it. So it's like even if I'm frustrated that I want more, the quality's so good that it's like all right.
So for some shows though, I feel like going with the less episodes is better.
Yeah.
Because with some, when you get like long running shows per season and stuff, there's like a lot of filler. I'm not really a fan of filler.
Yeah, me
like,
neither.
you know what I mean? Especially in like anime and stuff like that. There's a lot of filler stuff.
Mhm.
Like, I
where
feel
it's
like
just nothing's happening. It's
Yeah.
just there to be there to say that we had another episode. You know what I mean? So if it's 8 and they're all like this, I'm more than happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
because they're doing the same thing. I think like Boba Fett's only 9.
Yeah.
Like a lot of shows are getting to like, and I technically look at it as that's the same thing as an 8 episode format, just because like technically that, like I said, that last episode was basically Mandalorian teasing season 3. So it's like I still look at it like, so you basically put 8 episodes and you just threw this one in there. So it's like again, you're also
It's like self promotion.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much, they threw an episode in there for
Yeah.
self promotion.
and they've been doing like the 6 episode thing with theirs, which is like.
Mhm.
Like I'm usually okay with it because again, like I don't filler, so even if I want more, I like what I'm
I
getting.
agree.
and
I'm not a
I'd
filler.
rather have that than
Yeah, me too. I'm like, as long as the story that you're trying to tell in this season flows properly within however many episodes you're doing it, like, you know what I mean, 6, 8, 9, whatever. I prefer at least 13. Like I feel like 13 is like the perfect number for a season.
See, 13 was the perfect number, and I feel like what happened was is a lot of shows what they did wrong was they didn't realize that it's like, no, we're doing 13 episodes because that's just the perfect amount of like telling a good story that gives a lot of depth, all that shit, and character development. But what happened was I think a lot of the shows that then were doing 13 episodes were then taking like the 22 episode format and just scrunching it down. Where it's like it's now still the same thing where it's like, and I think like the first ones that did it was like The Walking Dead when they started teasing everybody.
Yeah.
Too much of like making us wait week to week where it's like, okay, like, this is not you're just filling us in each week to just get us to the next episode.
Dragging
and then eventually
episodes
ends
and
in the
shit.
last 2 episodes. And then a lot of other shows started doing it, so that's why I think they've even cut it down now to 8, which is like again why I'm like get frustrated because I want more because like you can still have a few more episodes that add more to the full story of the season. But it's just so many people are, you know what I mean, like doing the other shit where now people are only like willing to be like, all right, how many episodes? All right, we're going to do this many. Yeah. But streaming has helped it now because now with streaming, it's like, no, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, which is, I like that attitude, which is like, do however, again, with Euphoria, like, they did 8 episodes, but between their seasons, they were like, fuck, we got the streaming service now. You want to do 2 specials in between?
Yeah.
Go shoot something during the pandemic, and then there you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely
works.
And they're not part of the technically the seasons on the list, but they're there. You can still watch them. They're still in part of the collective. It's streaming does allow them to like expand more with their stories like that. Which is
definitely. But I also feel like because a lot of shows now that especially that are going straight to streaming aren't being held by that 30-minute, 25-minute, you know what I mean, marker that they had to meet too with the time clock.
Because most of them are like
45 minutes, 38 minutes,
and usually like the first and last episode will be like that 110, 111.
Yeah, exactly. So like it is a big difference because like it's also kind of like now it's like we're getting 2 episodes in one instead of like waiting for a 25-minute episode, and then you got to sit through the 3-minute recap and then you know what I'm saying, the whole credits, and then you know the teaser for the next episode, you know what I mean? So
but you know what I love about HBO Max that they do that none of the other streaming services do is I love that all their shows always have like an in look afterwards, which they used to only do for HBO shows. But like technically, Peacemaker's HBO Max and it's DC. It's not really technically their HBO, original catalog. It's like it's not playing on their network. You can only get on the streaming.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that they even do the after look with that show is also why I love it. Where it's like the podcast show that they do too. Where it's like, okay, like that's dope because it's like when I play Euphoria. I played like last night, like when I played the episode, like it's so satisfying playing the episode of Euphoria, and knowing that again it's only week to week, it's only 8 episodes, but when it starts, you see that it's like an hour and 10. Because minus the recap, you basically now have an hour and 5 minutes of a 45 to 50-minute episode, and then you get a nice 6 to 8 minutes of extra footage behind the scenes, and then a nice 2-minute look at next week's episode. Like something about that, just like it feels satifying as a viewer.
Yeah, you feel more connected.
Getting more. Whereas like Netflix is like episode ends, starts the credits, and then just goes right next to the next thing.
Which is like which is why I feel like Netflix is good if you're a binger. Like you know what I mean. You don't want to hear because the next episode is right after that. You don't want to hear what nobody else has to say. Just give me the next episode.
And their shows aren't, honestly, again, like we've talked about this before, they're more broad. They're not as in-depth as with something where Euphoria, it's like so much just happened, you kind of want to discuss that with somebody. So having it after hearing behind the scenes, it's kind of your way of, I mean,
yeah, exactly. And then especially if they specifically talk about a scene that you personally liked and stuff, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's where the director got the inspiration from that scene. Oh, that's how this is how such and such got that emotion to bring themselves to that point for that scene. So it's like you get a better understanding of who, what, and how everything works. And I feel like as a watcher, a consumer, and stuff like that, I feel it kind of makes me personally feel more attached to the characters and 100%. The show.
Well, it's funny you say that because that's why. So, if anybody listening, if you watch the Peacemaker show, I highly recommend you watch the podcast that they have afterwards because that's basically the setup they do, which is it's two people that are the hosts and they discuss the episode, what they thought real quick. So you get that interaction of feeling like you're talking to somebody of like, yeah, I felt the
Yeah.
same thing about that, right? Then they will interview somebody, and they only do it for a few minutes, and then they interview somebody from the show. So the first episode was James Gunn. Second one, so they've interviewed basically everybody from I think at this point, other than I don't think they've done John Cena yet. I have to recheck, but they did Hardcore. They did Mern, Amanda Waller's daughter. Like, they've done all of them, and it's just like so like you said, like getting those behind the scenes of those specific scenes that you're talking about, like of like when the gorilla happens, they're talking to economists about how they did all that, and it's just everything like Vigilante when they're interviewing him about like his take on the character and how he came to be on the show. Like it's just so you just feel so much more connected to it.
And it's crazy because Netflix was the first place to start doing that because they did that with Stranger Things
And they did it with 13
10 Reasons Why.
Yep.
But then they just stopped. You know what I mean? I feel like they always they keep starting these things, and then other streaming
Take it to another level.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Take it to another level.
And I think the problem with that is if they would have continued it, maybe people would look at Netflix in a different light, especially after that other price hike, you know what I mean?
But a lot of things with Netflix isn't really known for patience. You know what I mean? Certain things take patience to catch on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You have to let people catch on to certain things. So if they don't catch on to it right away, then they're going to look at it as a failure. You know what I mean? Certain things take time to really build a fan base.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like
they
you
never
just said,
do that.
with this thing, man, I've also watched it. You know what I mean? And it does it gives you in-depth looks of what's going on, of how these people are creating these angles, or you know what I mean, or how they got to be here, or what mode they're in when they're going to play these characters. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the other reason they didn't stick to it was because they basically ripped it off of Walking Dead. Because Walking Dead technically did it first with the what was it called? It was called Talking Dead.
Oh yeah, Talking Dead. Yeah.
Where they would have it right after, and then they obviously
They'd
looked
have
at
a
every
person on there, yeah.
because at the
I
ratings
forgot
of that
about
show,
that. Yeah.
they I remember watching that shit week to week.
Yeah.
Right after and being like, yo, that was nuts, and then just seeing like a whole audience talking about it and shit. You're just like, and so like I respected Netflix for picking that up, but then like you said, like they just stopped doing it. But it's funny you say that because today they were actually talking. There was a bunch of people talking about it. How basically Netflix, like, basically they're losing a lot right now because of the fact of how they're dropping their shows. Like the dropping all like the whole seasons at once is no longer working for them. Like their metrics have been just terrible compared to everything else and like they're losing basically like the whole streaming wars that they've been in. They're basically losing right now the most because of the fact that they just drop all their stuff, whereas everybody else is week to week. So their numbers,
So
like
people have to
WandaVision,
tune in every week.
like they were talking about how like WandaVision was, mildly, successful in the first few weeks, but then by the end was the number one show because again, like that week to week, like you said, building the fan base, building the suspension, all that shit. We just drop it all
12
here.
episodes. I'm gonna watch them all right now.
It's talked about that weekend, maybe the weekend after, but then once the next big thing drops, it's unlike if it had week to week, it would be talked about with the other things dropped. Like so
again,
funny because now you
again
said
that brings me back to the patience thing, though.
And
you gotta have patience. You know what I mean? When you're dropping something all right here. Me and Rich have watched a Netflix show in 2 days. You know what I mean? All
season.
You know what I mean?
All of them.
3+ seasons, shows, in like 2 days.
But that's it. It's like, all right, that was cool for 2 days. Now we're gonna move on. And to your point, Jared, when you're dropping something week to week and it's catching on like Peacemaker, you know what I mean? Every week you're talking. Every week it's up in conversation, up in topics, up on the internet.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And
nobody's talking about Squid Games right now. You know what I mean? It blew up, and now nobody's talking about it.
And then you got
this where it's coming out weekly episodes. Everybody's talking about it every week. So that's a good point.
Yeah, and then you got to think about it. Before Squid Games, what the shit popping before that was not even that 5-hour movie, The Irishman.
Oh yeah,
That was the last. That was really the last thing, and then before that was Bird Box. Really,
they really promoted it.
Yeah,
Well, that's
you know
the
what I'm
other thing
saying?
that they were talking about is how apparently it's like reported like the alleged like number that they're trying to like spend on like all their stuff this year would be like close to like around like 19 billion.
Yeah.
But then everyone's like, all right, but you're spending all that money. What the fuck is the promotion? Like,
Uh-huh.
that's the problem. Like you spend all this stuff on the IPs and to do the, but then you don't promote nothing, and then you just drop it season to season. It's like, bro, like The Witcher's great.
Yeah. And
no one, and you're like, everyone likes The Witcher.
yeah.
No one talks about The Witcher.
Because
We all just watch it in our home by ourselves as we were all between work that week, and then that was it.
And
we all talked about how we liked
You'll
it.
tell somebody, "Hey, do you watch The Witcher?" And they'll
Yeah.
say yes or no, and that's the end of the conversation.
And that's yeah, it's dope. Yep, and then that's it. You might do a coin to your Witcher joke, and that's it. That's it. Like there's nothing beyond that. Like whereas Peacemaker is just like discussing every little thing and then predicting. That's the other thing is Netflix doesn't set them up for prediction.
Mm-hmm.
They give you a season, then you wonder what's gonna happen in the story the next season. But then again, like the thing just drops and then that's it, and then you see what you were right about and that's it. Whereas like we're talking about Peacemaker because now we're trying to predict what the fuck is gonna happen next.
Yep, exactly.
Like you said, is she gonna die or like what? Who's gonna come save her at the last minute? Is she gonna become a butterfly? Like what the fuck is gonna happen?
Yeah,
we don't know.
But
the
if
last
this
one
was
just ended
Netflix,
with a
we would've.
gorilla that we didn't even see coming.
Yeah.
And you're telling me the next one was gonna be the wildest one yet? Well, all fucking bets are out the window, dude. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I got no predictions. I'm just gonna see what happens.
Yeah.